What's good, you guys? R&R Motorsports back at you guys with another one. Today we got a video from my PC, and we're gonna do the 8 best BMWs you guys can get for less than 10K. And side note, there is an M car in there. This is similar to the last video you guys saw on my channel. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you can go check it out. It's 12 BMWs you guys can pick up for less than 5K. So yeah, if you guys are on a tighter budget than 10 grand, you guys can go check out the other video on my channel. But yeah, also if you guys are into Call of Duty, I have a gaming channel that I'll link in the description. I also stream on Twitch. And then the Shopify store that I have in the bio for 6 Series parts, I'm going to be adding X5 parts to that soon. The rebuild on that will be coming up this week. So yeah, that's all the updates for you guys. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first car that we have here is the F30 328, and these cars are a really good bang for the buck. They come with the ZF 8-speed auto and the N20 single turbo 4-cylinder engine. When you guys pick up one of these, you're gonna want to look for one that's been maintained well, because they do have timing chain guide issues. But other than that, it's a pretty good daily driver for you guys. With a downpipe and a tune, it can make upwards of 300 horsepower. You can tune it with boot mod, I believe, and you can add the burbles, all that stuff, be a typical BMW driver. As you guys can see, this one is a 2015. It's pretty clean and it has low miles, only 57,000. So, and it's 2 grand less, or $1,100 less than the 10K budget that I have set in this video. So yeah, F30s are definitely clean looking, especially if you swap out this front end. As you guys see, it's non-M. You swap it out to like an M Sport, get the icon headlights for the F30, get some wheels, maybe some 513Ms. You guys can make this thing look really clean. So yeah, first car on the list is the F30 328. So the second car that we have on the list today is F30 335. So with the 335 F30, you'd have to definitely find a 2012 or 2013, like the first years that they made this car. And then it would also probably not be an M Sport. As you guys can see, this isn't an M Sport. Doesn't have the M Sport bumper. But this car has the same engine as my 640, so it's an N55. So they sound really good. They're not the best for power, but with a downpipe and a tune and full bolt-ons, you could easily make upwards of 400 horsepower and 500 torque with the stock turbo. Again, it's pretty much the same thing as the last car, but it has a 6-cylinder turbo engine, inline 6 turbo. So yeah, as you guys can see, this one here is red. It's a nice spec. I don't know if they offered the M Sport package on the F30 in 2013. It might have been like a 2014 for like the M Sport option. But I believe with the red stitching like this and the red dashboard trim that you guys see here, it is a Sport line package, but it's not an M Sport. Yeah, these look like the Sport wheels as well. So for 9 grand, this is a lot of car for the money, especially since these things are light. My 640 has the same engine, and it's the car that I can compare it to the most because I own it. Compared to my it would be the same power as my 640, but you lose 1,000 pounds. So just think about that. It would be pretty quick. So it's definitely not gonna be as fast as like your E92 with the N54, but it's definitely gonna be quick. It's not gonna be 340 fast either, but it'll be quick and it'll sound good. So stock. Oh, yeah, I already said that. But stock is 300 horsepower, and with like a full bolt-on stage 2, you can make upwards of 400 horsepower. So yeah, 9 grand for 400 plus horsepower in a modern F Series BMW. So the third car on our list is the F32 4 Series, the 428i. These come with the same engine that's in the 328i, except it's just the coupe body style. So it has the N20 engine, and once again, you gotta be careful with the timing chain guides on those cars. But this one has 100K miles. You can't get a 435, unfortunately. or not yet, at least for under 10K, but soon, maybe by the end of this year, you could probably pick up a 4 Series 435 for less than 10. But anyways, this car has the M4 front bumper, and honestly, it looks pretty similar to an M4. It also has the M mirrors, because M4s they don't have like the obnoxious like fender flares like the M3, which is why everyone loves the M3. I'm biased too, but let's get into this one. So as you guys can see, it's a 428i. Same thing with the F30, just a different shape. As you guys can see, the interior on this specific one looks immaculate. Aside from like a little bit of like wear right here, everything else looks pretty good. This one does look like it's at a dealership, and it's literally right at the 10 grand mark. So maybe like it'll be a little bit more, unless you could do some negotiating once you get to the dealer. But this is a really good looking car for the money. A lot of bang for the buck. Definitely does not look like a $10,000 BMW. To 90% of the people on the road, they'll be thinking they'll think you drive the newest BMW on the road. Honestly, the F Series cars are designed very well. That's why a lot of people say these designs was the golden era of BMW. But yeah, this is a very nice looking car for the money. If you just need a daily driver and you don't care about performance that much and you want to look cool, the 428 is a car for you. So let's get into the fourth car on the list. I got two SUVs for you guys. This is the first one. So if you guys want a daily driver, a crossover midsize SUV, but you still want a BMW, as you guys can see, they put the M Sport mirror caps on this. This is the BMW X1. You could pick up like a 2014, 15, or 16 of these for easily less than 10 grand. As you guys can see, this one's priced at 8,500 with 130,000 miles. Same thing with the 328 and 428. This has the N20 engine. So once again, timing chain guides, in case you guys didn't hear me the first 3 times. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is a nice clean crossover. It's pretty much nothing special. I know they make a lot of aftermarket lights for the X1. Like you guys can get GTS taillights. If I can find some clips, I'll throw them in for you guys. And you can get aftermarket headlights for the X1 as well, and they kind of look sick, I'm not gonna lie. The only downside about the X1, I would say, is it's a 2014 BMW, as you guys can see, and it still has the cluster from E92. And like what's it called? This like old style cup holder, and it doesn't have a screen, I don't believe. So that's the only downside of the X1. It's the cheapest SUV that BMW offered. Previous to that was the X3, but they made an X1. I don't know why, but yeah, they made it, and it's very bare bones. But if you want to say you have a BMW and you want an SUV for the low, you can get an X1. So the next car on our list is the F25 BMW X3. This is another SUV, or the second SUV on the list. But basically, this is the X1's bigger brother. As you guys can see here, it's a little bit bigger than the X1. And you can pick one up. It'll be an older year than the X1 and probably a little bit higher mileage. But as you guys can see, this one has 122,000 miles and it's priced at right at 10K. It is a private seller, I believe. But as you guys can see, it is significantly bigger than the X1. It also sits nicer on the road. The X1 kind of looks like a wagon, sort of. This actually looks like a mid-size SUV. But the biggest difference from the X1 and the X3 is going to be on the interior, where you guys can see this clearly looks like a F chassis interior. Let me get some better pics for you guys. I actually don't mind this wood. This light trim wood looks pretty good. But let me get it closer. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is the F Series dash, the X1. Hold up, I'll go back for it for you guys. But the X1, it's a year newer, and it has the E90 dash with the orange here. As you guys can see, this is the F Series dash with a little bit of the display right here. So yeah, it's nicer, and it also has the newer iDrive system. So I believe the X1 doesn't have anything, and this has, it looks like NBT, but it might be NBT with the non-nav because you see how small the screen is. But either way, you get a lot more car for the money with the X3. Once again, it's N20 engine. This I've already told you guys everything about it. And yeah, it's a good daily driver. A lot of bang for the buck. You got a car that pretty much people will think is new if you upgrade the head unit, add some CarPlay, upgrade the headlights, taillights, and people will literally think you have a 2020 X3. So yeah, that's number 4, or I believe number 5 on the list. So yeah, let's get into the next one. So this is the fastest car on the list. This is number 6. And this is 2011 BMW 550i. So for you guys that don't know, this car comes with the infamous N63 engine. Before they revised it to the N63 TU. These cars are problematic. They have issues with valve stem seals, turbo failures, oil leaks, coolant leaks, battery drainage. There's a laundry list of problems with these cars. But when it's running right, it's probably one of the best bang for the buck performance BMWs you can get. Even more so than an N54 or even a B58 in my opinion. With literally a downpipe and a custom tune, you can get these 550s to incredible horsepower numbers. I'm talking about over 600 wheel horsepower and 600 wheel torque. Stock turbos with literally just a downpipe and a tune. You don't even have to add fueling, and you don't even need an intake if you don't want. All you could do is swap out the filter for a charcoal free one. These cars sound amazing. I'm gonna give a 10-second pause right now so I can insert some sound clips for you guys so you guys can hear how insane these cars sound. So yeah, now that you guys have heard how amazing these cars sound, I'm going to go through this specific one for you. So this is a clean title 2011 550 with 126,000 miles, almost 127. As you guys can see, it looks like it has some aftermarket wheels. It's tinted. It looks pretty clean. It's a non-M Sport. As you guys can see, the M Sport would have the diffuser in the rear. But it looks like a relatively clean 550i. Nice black interior. Interior actually looks like it's barely been satin. But yeah, a 600 horsepower sedan. It's pretty much a baby M5 because this car with just a tune makes as much horsepower as a stock M5. So you're pretty much getting a F10 M5 for 10 grand minus the suspension. So this is definitely a great option if you want a fast daily driver and you're good at working on BMWs because it's gonna break. But if you can fix it for cheap and do it yourself, you get a lot of car for the money. So number 7 on the list is a 2011 7 Series. Honestly, I don't even know the chassis code of this off the top of my head. If I had to guess, I would either say it's F01 or F07, but don't quote me on that. But this is a 750. It has the same engine as the 550 we just went over, but same reliability issues that the 550 will have. But pretty much this is just a bigger form factor car. It's like the ultimate German luxury sedan. The interior on these is really nice. Like has a really big back seat. And for a car that weighs almost 5,000 pounds, it does pull its weight. It's very torquey. You can do the same downpipe and tune on a 550, on a 750, and you'll have a 600 horsepower executive luxury sedan. So the maintenance is a nightmare on these 7 Series. Look, as you guys can see, this one has a small transmission leak. That's why it's priced so cheap at $6,500. So you have some room to repair it. But it is a lot of car for the money. I know the MSRP on these was probably like $120,000, $130,000 new with options. So you're getting a car like that for a fraction of the price. So if you need like a whip to look like a boss, a luxury daily driver, this is a good option. Yeah, get into the last one. So the 8th and final car on our list is the E36 M3. This specific one is a convertible, but you guys can probably find coupes or even sedans. It's getting harder and harder to find a cheap E36 M3. These things are climbing in value, like the E30 M3s did. So these cars are following suit. But if you guys can find E36 M3 for less than 10K, it's definitely going to be one with higher mileage, because the clean title ones with low miles, people go and throw them on Bring a Trailer or like one of those auction sites. You get top dollar for them. But if you guys find a well taken care for a higher mileage example, you can pick up a car that people sell for a lot. It's like one of the glory cars, I guess you could say. And you can enjoy a high mileage example for a fraction of the price. So let's get into this one. It's a 5-speed manual convertible, as you guys can see. The paint looks super clean. Doesn't look like there's any rust anywhere. We can go through the description. There's a lot of new parts, the guy says. New transmission mounts. He's asking 8,500 OBO. And obviously, like an older BMW, my Z4 included, the top doesn't work. It's probably a hydraulic issue. That's like a common thing with BMW convertibles, the older ones. But yeah, as you guys can see, this thing looks mint. It's a South Florida car, so there's probably not going to be any rust on it, unless if you go through the Carfax and see where the car started its life at. But yeah, this thing looks mint. Get some interior pictures. Wow, yeah. Aside from a little bit of cracking on the driver's seat and a little bit of a tear here, the interior actually does look to be in really good shape. You guys can obviously get the interior reupholstered if you guys want to bring it back to its full glory. But yeah, it's a sick E36 M3. It's a timeless design. You can pick up a real M car for under 10 grand, which is crazy. I know a couple years ago these cars used to go for 5 grand or less, but everything's gone up in value. When I was in high school in 2016, I could have picked up an E39 M5 for less than 10 grand and an Acura NSX for 25K with a rebuilt title. Now those cars go for 50K plus for the M5, 40K plus. And the NSXs, you can't even find a rebuilt title one for under 85 grand. So prices change with time, but I think this is a solid buy because you get a lot of car for the money, and you get the M car that pretty much paved the way for all these modern day M cars. So with that being said, these are 8 great BMWs you can pick up for less than 10K. If you guys like this video, subscribe. I got more on the way. I also have 6 Series BMW content, E92 335 content, as well as BMW X5 content coming soon. Thank you guys for all the love, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.